Tuesday, August 4th, 2025, and you are at the City of Wausau Parks and Recreation Committee meeting. Item number 1 on the agenda is there anybody for public comment tonight? Okay, I guess not. So then we will move on to agenda item number 2, approval of the June 2025 meeting. It says 2024. Are the meetings sufficient for everybody? Do they need any changes? If not, I'll take a motion to accept the motion by Alder Lukens to accept the approval of the meetings from the June 2nd, 2025 meeting.
I'll second.
Second by Alder Rasmussen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item number 3, discussion and possible action on pool pass fees. I'll turn it over to Jamie.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think these are on. I put in your packet, so I wanted to bring this. We're working on fees right now for as we work and put together our budgets for the city and the county. And for the most part, we took the fees to the Park Commission last week, Tuesday, for almost all the fees, and we're recommending an increase of 3% like we typically do each year, although there may be more direction on the county side for our county facilities where those would get increased more based on fee or budget increases that we have to make to cover other costs. So I'm waiting for the county board to give further direction. So the fees aren't necessarily done yet at this moment. We're still a work in progress. So if there's any fees that the committee here really wanted to see different other than the 3%, you can reach out to me or I can send you that fee schedule in its total. But one thing that I wanted to bring that's specific to the city and to this committee, because we've talked a lot about this over the years, about the pools and how we manage the pools and what our costs are for the pools. And looking at where we at in relationship to our counterparts, mainly, West and Rothschild are our main counterparts. Merrill does have a pool as well, and so we kind of look at what are other people charging, where are we charging, where should we be. Also for ease of our staff, we have high school kids mainly working, some college kids, but mainly high school working our admissions and our concessions. So try to keep it as simple for everybody, but also that we're keeping it consistent and not pricing anybody out either. So we know we have had in our department, we have a scholarship program, and it's not just for pool fees, it's for any recreation fees that if someone has the ability or needs assistance buying a pass or getting into a program, they can contact our office, and we do have a pot of money that we budget for that. So that is available. But when we talk specifically about pool fees, this is our section of the fee schedule that talks pool fees, and I did include in your packet a snippet from the Village of Weston's Aquatic Center page that also shows their fees and stuff too. They do have season passes, they have resident and non-resident. We also have those for ours. Theirs, when I went through this, and I happened to buy my daughter a season pass at Weston because we live in the Everest district and she could bike there. But as I'm looking at it, it's just one fee for an individual. It's not a student or a youth versus adult. We don't have a different senior fee. They do have a family fee. We have a family fee, and I can go through that a little bit. But looking at the Village of Weston, they charge for an individual pass for a season is $59. And if you want, that's for one pool. That's for just the Weston Aquatic Center. And then if you want the joint pass, which includes the 2 pools in that area, it's $79 for an individual. And then they have a family pass of up to 5 people. So looking at that and then looking at our fees and kind of where we're at, and I'll go back to that chart, we are significantly lower than that. So our resident adult fee, just the adult fee if we were to look at that, is $52 compared to $59. And our pass gets you 3 pools. It's for any of the Wausau pools. So yes, our pools aren't necessarily as big as Weston Aquatic Center. We still have 3 of them, and they're all different and unique. And you have the option. You can decide to go to one today and the other one tomorrow. So $52 gets an adult 3 pools, where if the joint pass on the other side of town gets $79, gets you 2 pools. So we're still significantly lower there. And then when you look at our youth pass, it's $36. And then because of our registration software, it's very, it's kind of annoying, but it works, to the family fee, where you have to pay, the first adult is full price and the first youth is full price, and then the next adult and youth have a discount to that. And we can set that discount at anything. So as I was talking to my staff that runs the pools, we'll still, I guess I wanted to have that conversation with the Parks Committee today of, can we have just a flat rate? We would still probably list it as youth and adult, because we'll still track youth and adult at the pool. They can just press a button. So then we can kind of know how many youth are coming and adults are coming. If we were to have one rate, then our family rate can change, or that our family formula will change slightly. It will still be the first adult is full price, or the first pass is full price, and then everyone after that is discounted, so it makes it a little bit easier. So I guess what I was looking at and wanting to discuss with you is the one fee. My initial recommendation is that for 2026, we just have the fee of the adult fee, so it would be just adjusting the youth fee up to that $52. And then what we could do is, if we wanted to still stay below what a family fee is for our counterparts, we could do up to a family, the first pass would be full price, and then each additional pass after that would be 40% off, and we would stay between $6 and $8 still lower than the family fee of the resident on the other side of town for a family of 5. So it still makes our pools a little bit more affordable. You still get 3 pools for the price of, or you still get 3 pools with the pass. And it's just one fee. It gets us a little bit closer. We're not looking at doing this to make profit off the pools. We're still not making profit. It's just more to stay in line with, we value our pools, and I think our residents get as much out of our 3 pools as they would going elsewhere, and sometimes people buy both passes if they can at both, and they can at 5 pools, for those 2 rates. So I guess I wanted to, I'll open it up for discussion and questions, or if we don't want to have appetite for just one fee, can we look at adjusting these fees a bit to start to get there?
I guess for me, I would have a problem raising the youth fee to the adult rate, because we want to encourage our youth to use our pools, and we want to stay competitive with what's around us too, and that's, I'll open it up for discussion. Alder Rasmussen.
Thank you. So are you still proposing to keep the resident versus non-resident?
Yeah.
And so then you'd be looking for just 2 fees, basically, resident or non-resident, and?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know, this was something that I was trying to give some thought to before the meeting as well, when I saw this item was on, because yes, we want to be competitive. You do get more with the purchase of our pass than you get from our counterparts. But we also have I would say, a larger demographic that does have economic challenges. And the last thing we want to see is for us to get this high enough that we have kids swimming in or near bodies of water that were never intended for that. I mean, that's why the pools were built in the first place in the late 50s, was kids were swimming in the river. So I think we have to be mindful of the fact that we do have a large population of kids that the whole point of keeping them in the neighborhoods was that kids could walk to the neighborhood pool and use it, and that it was an economical thing that kids could do in the summer. So I do like the idea of a youth pass being cheaper than an adult pass. I think that maybe we have some room to increase fees a bit, but I don't know that we need to be on par with what we're seeing in Weston and Rothschild. I think I think that we have a population that's using our facilities that maybe has some different challenges. I mean, is there a spot in the middle where we could settle, where we'd see an increase, but we wouldn't be as high as they are? And I do feel like to make it an attractive option for kids to buy that pass and have that pass, especially if parents have more than one child. You know, I mean, you may have, I guess it's a struggle for us to, I think, get too high on that because everything is going up for families, and the families that have challenges, I mean, it's everything from utilities to school supplies already. I feel like to pile this on, like economically, times are tough. Like people are looking for recreational activities that are not expensive. I don't want to make ours expensive, but I also don't want to be so far behind that, you know, we can't pay our people and we can't maintain, you know, I mean, very few recreational programs are moneymakers. They just aren't. They're a quality of life thing for us. So,
just to clarify one point, if you did so right now, if you had 2 children and you bought the family pass, your first child would be full price and the second one at a discount. If you went to just one fee too, it would be the same thing. So you'd have to buy an adult pass with it because the kids, for a family pass, you need an adult on the family pass. But you'd only pay for one full price and then the rest would be discounted.
do you have any numbers as far as what your sales have been, as far as the youth versus the adult, like how many you're selling? And then how many non-resident people are actually buying? I mean, do we know what our counts are?
I do. I don't have that with me, and I should have brought that. Sorry, but I do. Yes, we do have that count. Our youth is higher than our adults. We have sell a lot more youth passes.
Right.
And non-resident is very, very small. We don't get a lot of non-resident passes being sold. And I can get you those exact numbers because we do have them through our registration software.
I just want to say that I'm in full agreement with you, Alder Rasmus, and we'll mark that one on the calendar too. I just think that we need to encourage our youth to use our pools and stuff, and we need to keep our fees reasonable enough for them. So,
Well, and that was the thing.
like
I
you
mean,
say,
if-
with the families and stuff struggling as things are going up as it is, we need to have this not only for, you know, kids for something to do, but to keep
right. I
kids
mean,
off the streets.
Right. I mean, even if we would look at something like, you know, 55 and 40 or something that's a slight increase, but it's not so high. I think making that youth 52 is it's a big step where, you know, I don't mind seeing a little something, but I just don't want to see it so high that, you know, parents are like, well, forget the Wausau pools. You're not going now. You know, I mean, there's just a lot of things that I think play into people's decisions with, you know, especially if we're selling a lot of youth pass and kids are able to walk to the facilities. They can do that while parents are working during the day.
Yep.
And, you know, that might explain the difference in our sales, but, you know, I could see a little bit of a step up, but I don't want to step it too far.
Alder Lukens.
Thank you. One question I had is our season pretty much the same length as the others?
Yes.
They're pretty much.
Yeah, and I think we will be open a week longer this year because we staggered our pools. You know, we've always had that request to have a pool open a week longer than we typically have. So this year we opened Kaiser a week late so we can have it open a week longer. So we will, we're getting close to the end of the season, but Memorial and Schulenburg will close a week earlier than Kaiser, and we'll keep that open for that extended week.
Thank you. I was surprised at the difference in the fees when I had looked at this too. But I also agree with, you know, maybe the demographics as far as income and having something for kids to do that's more affordable for some. So I like the idea of having a lesser amount for kids too than adults. But so I guess I'm kind of in agreement with both elders, Larson and Rasmussen. Is there some type of middle ground? Thank you.
Alder Watson.
You mentioned scholarships. How many scholarships are available each year?
We budget $3,500 right now in our budget for them, and when they're gone, we typically have not turned anybody away, so we'll just take it in our budget, and then we'll reduce costs somewhere else. So
And is the scholarship like a percentage, or is it just you
Yep.
get the whole?
Yes, they get a card for up to, they still have to pay a portion of the cost, that they don't get anything for free. I don't know if I have it in the fee schedule. I believe it's up to 70% off the first program and then 50% off. They can get up to like $75 worth of a credit, and they can use it for a portion of the first program and a portion of the second, but they can't use it all for just one, so that they pay a little bit for each.
And is the application process pretty intense? Is it
No,
easy?
it's very easy. Usually we just, they can call, and then there's a couple forms that they can show us. The easiest one is to show us they have the free and reduced lunch through the school district, and then we honor that. There's a couple other ways too if they don't have that.
Because I wonder if we could just adjust a little bit more up, but then still have enough for scholarships and just make that more widely available, or not widely available, but more
No,
advertised.
yeah, we
and,
don't advertise it a ton, but it
Yeah.
is available.
You know, to counteract some of that increase for the folks that are needing it.
So these fees that you have here, that's what we're charging now, correct?
Yes, that column, yeah, I don't have the years on there, but the column that you're seeing right now is at 2025 fee. So that's
So-
what this year is.
That doesn't include that's not the 3% proposed
That is not
increase.
3%. No, if we were to add 3% to that 36, it's $37. So we just increase it $1. They're not much. The 52 would be 53.50, so we'd probably round up to 54, so that would go up $2.
I'm just wondering if we could perhaps put a 4% increase on all the other passes except for the youth and keep the youth at 36. That's an idea. Hello?
What is our resident family rate? Because I see the non-resident youth, the non-resident adult. I'm on this, the green chart.
Yep.
But I don't see the resident family rate.
The rates are not on there because it's up top, so if you look at the family,
How many?
yep, it depends on how
I see
many.
where you're at. Okay.
So in our formula, in our program, they'll pay for a family, you pay for full price adult and a for full price youth. And then the next, I believe it's 30% discount right now off of the additional adult or youth. So
Okay,
like,
so you have
yeah,
at least $88 and then upward from there.
yes.
Okay. Is that, even if, whether it's 3% or 4%, if we're working with round numbers, it's not quite 3 months of a season. 2.5 months they get roughly.
Yep.
Does it move the needle if we would go to 38.55? Does that, you could put a commensurate increase on maybe the non-resident too. You don't sell enough of them for it to really matter, you said, so, if you would take those to maybe, 50 and 75.
Is your mic on, Alder Rasmussen?
Oh, sorry, it was, but then I must have hit it. So I guess my question was, does it move the needle if we would take our resident youth and adult and make those like 55 and 38 or 55 and 40? Does that get us even close to where we need to be? That still would have its ripple effect to the family rate depending on how many people are involved there. But then if we would take our non-resident to say 50 and 75, we're not selling a ton of those, but if that helps, I think rental fees, is there a lot of facility rentals?
No, there isn't. The rental fees are either they'll stay the same, or we could even, if we did raise them for 3%, it's not that much, but we don't have a lot of opportunities for there because it's usually before 11 that we allow those, and so it's some small birthday parties, but typically you can get a group of kids in for,
Less money.
less money, yeah.
By just paying the daily admission?
Yeah, and if you think of it, so right now our youth rate for 2025 is $4 to get into the door. So if someone buys a season pass, they need to come 9 times to pay for their season pass.
Okay.
If we put that up to $5 for admission, just because it's easy, $5 is still an easy number. We move that up to 40. They have to come 8 times to their, to get their value of their season pass. So a lot of people will just buy the season pass because it's easy. That's why I do it with my daughter. Is I can give her the code on her phone. She doesn't have to worry about having money every time we go. And
Right.
as long as you go, she has to go 13 times over there in order to make.
Well, and that then too creates an incentive for them to purchase the pass
Yep.
versus paying a day at a time here and there, you know, so I guess I would favor that. I don't know how everyone else feels about that, if we would look at round numbers and go, you know, 40 on the youth and 55 on the adult. That's round numbers, and then, you know, take your non-resident to say 50 and 75. Does that, I mean, I feel like that gets us closer.
Yep, we're
You know?
we're still lower, but it does get us closer so that, you know, the resident rate, like I said, at Weston is 59.
Right, I mean, I do want to keep us competitive, but I also don't want to make it, like you said, I don't want to price our kids out of the facility. The whole point of building them was for them, so that there was, you know, quality, low-cost things for kids to do in the summer.
I just hate to see the resident youth go take a $4 price increase. I just think that's a little unrealistic, but that's just me. Like I said, we want to encourage our youth to use the pool, and as you said, Alder Rasmussen, in today's economic climate,
It's
it's
a struggle.
it's a struggle. Alder Watson.
I mean, we could just adjust the adult and leave the youth constant, you know, and adjust the adult up to represent the increase we want to see. You know, like make it $8 higher, you know, take it up to like 60.
I can't hear you.
Oh, take it up to like 60 for the adult resident and then just leave the youth at the same. You know, then you would have that adjustment. It would just be all on the adult instead. Just a thought.
I do think with the value of the per day fee, raising it a little bit, and if they only have to come 8 times to get the cost of their pass, most of our kids, a lot of our resident kids are coming every day. So I mean, they'll have that in 2 weeks, that they have the value of their pass bought.
Like, do you have usage for like how many times people do come for season pass holders? Like, you know, do they have to scan their pass every time they come in? So you know, this season pass holder comes 20 times. That one came 5.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
But they do have to scan their pass. I don't know if it's linked specifically to them, but I can find that information. I should know that.
I'm just curious.
I don't usually work in our civic rec system too much.
Well, and that's,
got
I guess
people.
that's where I feel like, even with a small increase on the youth annual pass, you know, if we make that investment recoverable in 8 visits instead of 9, even though you take the gate admission, the daily pass to 5, the impact of that, even going up a bit on the other 2, they'd recover that investment faster, 1 visit less.
And would you leave the resident youth pass the same price, or if you raise the daily rate up to 5?
I could go with either one. Or we could settle somewhere in the middle too. That we could maybe look at 38.
Sure. Well, what did you say the 3% raise would be on the youth?
37.
37.
But yeah, that's true.
So we could go with the 3% on the resident youth and go a little
You'd
bit
have 30
higher.
37 and 54. Was that what you said?
37 and 54 would be 3%. Yeah.
When was the last time we adjusted fees?
3 years ago, we adjusted our fees when
I wonder if-
when we put in the civic rec software.
Okay. Because I wonder if this is something that we really should evaluate either every year or every other year at the end of the season
Yes.
to
we
stay
definitely
caught up
should.
so we don't fall too far behind, you know? Sometimes I think if you increase a fee and it's $1 here and $1 there, that's, I think, easier for people to budget for than to all of a sudden it's $5 more or $8 more or whatever.
Yes.
All at once. So at the end of every season, you know, when we analyze like how we did with our facilities, maybe we should take a cursory look at those fees and just see if we're content where we are, or if we wanted to maybe take a small increase or something along the way. Because I think the economy right now is fairly volatile. I mean, we don't know if things calm down, it might be different, but for right now, everything seems high for folks.
Yeah, one of the issues we have with fees and timing is that usually we are asked to set our fees around this time, and we don't have a full season, of the year in, but
Right.
we definitely should be looking at these fees every year, which we typically do. But we have been very hesitant to raise certain fees each year. Pool fees being one, Sylvan Tubing Hill, we just
Yep.
raised those finally. The ones we've really always raised is our shelter rentals. We just take that with the 3%. But anything like this, we've been hesitant to increase. And I honestly don't think raising the youth to 40 is a burden, or, I mean, it may be for some, but I feel like the value is there, and the kids come and they spend a ton of money on concessions usually, so.
If you have the scholarship option available as well, to help where there's a true need, where the rate is cost prohibitive. In many of those cases, if it's cost prohibitive at 40, it's cost prohibitive at 36.
Yes, correct.
So, that struggle isn't that much different either. So,
Alder Lukens.
Thank you. That's what I'm thinking too. If you consider it's for the season, $4, like I agree that we want to keep it lower for the youth, but $4 for a season ticket per child, I think would be reasonable if it was 40, right? 38 or 40.
all of our costs are elevating too with the operational end. So,
Yeah, and with, if we somehow let people know that there are the scholarships, maybe, that could be, advertised a bit. And then, so that I think wouldn't be,
Speak up, Alder.
that I would be okay with that.
Alder Watson.
So, we could go like 40 for residential youth, 60 for residential adult, and then just go 50, 70, just every round.
75.
Yeah, 75 for adult. And then that would just be the increment, and then they could still use the scholarship. But I guess I just wouldn't, I don't know. I don't like the idea of like first come, first serve. Like it runs, like I would still want, it based on need. So I don't know if there'd be like, you have to apply for a scholarship by this time so that you can look at all the applications or something. I don't know.
No, like I said, we haven't turned anybody away, so we have a set amount that usually covers the requests that we get. But if we do happen to go over budget in that line item, we know that we usually can either increase revenue in another area, or we can try to cut. It hasn't been detrimental to our budget yet to be able to still accommodate all those that have requested it that meet the qualifications.
Is that fund expended every year? Have you ever finished a year with money left in it?
We have, yep.
Okay.
It ebbs and flows. Some years we get it all gone, and some years we have some left over.
Okay, that's good to know, because if we were out before the end of June, as an example, then we'd know that that's not enough and that this might really be bad. So if you finish the season though and you haven't used it all, that maybe it helps us understand this too.
Yeah.
So, somebody have a motion.
I guess I would move to, can I just say the adjusted stuff? Okay, I'd like the Wausau resident youth to be $40 for 2026, the resident adult to be 60, the non-resident youth to be 50, and the non-resident adult to be 75. And then index the other expenses by 3%. So like if they want to rent the facility.
Were we going to go to 5 on the daily pass as well?
Sure. $5 on the daily pass. That's my motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Alder Watson on the 2026 pool fees for our Wausau parks. By Alder Watson, second by Alder Rasmussen. All those in favor signify by, Alder Lukens, you have something else left to say?
I just want one other question. If we go from 52 to 60 for a resident adult, how much is that? Like percentage? I guess I could probably figure that out. Like, that'd be $8, right? Do you think that's a lot or no?
What's the percentage?
15.
Ooh,
For the entire season, though.
Yeah.
I mean, on the family pass, then with one adult and one child, you're still getting the entire season for 100, which is still less than Weston.
And I mean, so scholarships aren't obviously for adults, because adults are 18 and over, or is it
Yes,
16?
18
Okay.
and over.
So the scholarships wouldn't be for that, but then could the youth still apply for a scholarship if it was attached to a family plan?
Yes.
Okay. So they could still get some discount.
okay, we have a motion by Alder Watson and a second by Alder Rasmussen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Aye. Opposed? None opposed?
no, but can we put a pin in the review then for each year? I'm not opposed, I voted yes. But then put a
Yes.
note on that each year, at least close to the end of the season, maybe about this time, that we'd evaluate where we're at and if we need to make any adjustment before the budgets
And
are
to
all
bring
done.
us the data that we need to.
Yeah, and it would help us if we knew like roughly how many of each pass gets sold.
Yep.
So,
Okay, I believe that motion passes unanimously.
it did.
Alder Watson.
And then I guess I would also want to know, like, usage of each season pass holder too, like when we make these decisions next year, you know. Yeah, that would just be in a little extra. And then how much is left in the scholarship fund, if there is any.
Okay,
And I can send all of that information out to this year, as much as I can get, and then if someone decides you want to revisit this, we can always bring it back and adjust it. I mean, our fees can adjust it. This just helps get the fees set for when we do our budget time, but at any point, we can bring this back if you see the data and don't like it.
When you publish the fees and that, like in the summer fund book and that, and in the rec guide, is the scholarship option outlined in that ad? Because I feel like a lot of people may not know.
Look, I am not exactly.
I think we should probably move on to the next item.
True.
I think we should probably move on to the next item. It's already been approved and seconded, so we could be here all night otherwise. Now, item number 4 is discussion and possible action on setting September meeting date. I see there's a conflict with
Yes.
Labor Day, huh?
There is a conflict. Our next meeting is supposed to be set to be on Labor Day, so looking at the calendars, these were just two options, but if you see a different option, we can look at that too. But we could meet Wednesday, September 3rd at 5:15. There are no meetings on the city calendar that night. I don't know if Wednesdays are. Or the following Monday, we would just have to meet after the HR committee.
Either one is good for me, so
Can't do Wednesday?
I can't do which one?
I can't do Wednesday. I'm teaching.
So should we move to the 8th and then just go maybe after HR? Aren't they at 4:30?
They are at 4:30, yep, so I put, or they're at 4:45, I believe. Let me look at the calendar here.
But
Well, if we did Wednesday, we still have a quorum with
yeah, if
what's
Tom would
here.
come. If Tom would be able to be there, yeah. Or even with you three, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're at 4:45, that's why I chose 6
Yeah,
on
that's
that.
dinner time.
Why don't we try for the 2nd? We can send out a quorum poll
For the 3rd?
for the 3rd, rather.
I mean, you could do the 2nd, the 2nd might be an option too. The Economic Development Committee meets at 5:30. We could always meet at 4:15, but I know, Lisa, sometimes you have issues with
If I
early,
know ahead of time, I can plan for it, so
because we could do 4:15 on the 2nd.
Okay.
I could do that.
Alder Lukens, you okay with that?
Well, wait, actually, I think I didn't pick the 2nd because I have, at 3 o'clock, the Environmental Resources Committee of the county meets that day. And if I have anything that comes out of Park Commission that goes on that agenda, I've got to go to that meeting, and they're typically not done until 5. So I might have a conflict, but I mean, I guess I could always send another staff person to one of the 2 meetings, either this one or to that one.
Sure.
We would even go at 4:30.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're
Yep.
probably not gonna have a super full agenda, are we? We're kind of at the end of the season.
Right, we can do some, we can talk about that under future agenda items of some ideas that I have for the next meeting, but I think we could probably try to keep it to an hour if we,
It's fairly light, we can manage.
yeah. Should we, Well, if we set it for 4:15, and if I need to send someone just to my other meeting to take over for me or whatever, or start this one, I can do that and then figure that out.
4:15 on the 2nd?
Or that works for everybody?
That would be a Tuesday?
Yep. I'll send out a meeting invite and we'll change it on the city
Okay.
calendar here.
I don't believe you'd need a motion for that, huh?
No, not if there's a consensus for the group.
Okay. On to the next agenda item, number 5, discussion and possible action granting Wisconsin Public Service an easement for the new electric and gas service through Hammond Park, 600 Grand Avenue.
Yes, so I apologize for getting this on the agenda late on Friday. I just got the letter from WPS asking for this request, and we knew it was coming, but we didn't have the official request yet, and they like these to be acted on or approved within 30 days, and so if we were to wait till next meeting, it might be too late. This will definitely go to our city attorney as far as an easement, but this had come to me through engineering as a heads up for this is a new service that's going to serve the 700 Grand. That is that development there. I included in the packet the map so you can see it doesn't go right through the middle, which is good. It goes,
At the very end.
yep, the very last page, there we go. So it goes along the eastern or the northern edge of the park there, and then just a little bit on the very, what is that, west end by the entrance. So it doesn't affect any of our infrastructure that's there. It may, a trail here or there, but the trails can be over
So
the
they need this just for burying lines and
Yes,
stuff
they're
for
going to
that,
upgrade the electric and gas service.
probably for that new apartment building that's
Correct.
going in there, so.
I'll move to approve the easement contingent upon legal review.
At second.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Alder Rasmussen. Alder Rasmussen the motion has been made to accept item number 5 contingent to the city attorney looking at the agreement, and seconded by Alder Watson, was it? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that passes unanimously as well. Educational items.
Okay, I will pull this up. Whoops. So lots of things going on. One of that's my next one actually. Okay, first one is just park projects and stuff like that. So we did some work at Athletic Park. If you haven't been past the pickleball courts at Alexander Airport Park, they are complete. We are waiting, working with DPW. They'll be paving the basketball court for us. That wasn't part of the project because we didn't have the funding. But the basketball court even looks even worse now with the nice pickleball courts that are there. So when they have time in their schedule, they'll be paving that basketball court for us. But they look wonderful. They have been used. We did what? Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Contractor did really well in there. We also did get the donation from Mr. Kasurik and the Kasurik Kids Foundation as he promised. So that came in, and that project is complete. Working on some other projects. We're redoing the roof at 9 Mile Marathon Park. We had the fair this last week, and if you've been through there, you can see our splash pad is a complete mud pit. But now you'll start to see some progress on there as well, because now that the fair is done, our contractor's back, and they'll be laying some pipe in the ground and stuff like that. Baseball season is coming to an end. Our last tournament was this last weekend. We had the Hmong Festival at the Sports Complex last weekend. And that's kind of the big things until I get into the next one. Should I just keep going?
Yeah.
All right. Skate park grand opening is this Sunday at 11 to 1. I will send out the flyer that we have. I'm tweaking it to get our funders on there, and then everything will go out tomorrow to them.
Which park is that?
The Oak Island Skate Park.
Oh,
This will be all the concrete features that will open up. We still have the old features sitting off to the side. Those will be worked on as my staff has available, most likely in between because they're also pouring the concrete for the splash pad. But we hope by the end of the year to get all the old pieces refurbished and on there as well. but the kids and everybody, even adults, are they're biting at the bit to get onto the new concrete part of the skate park. It turned out really, really well, and we're excited to have that ribbon cutting. We have partnered with Central Board Shop right downtown here, and he'll be running kind of a skate jam after our ribbon cutting on Sunday, where they'll be giving out prizes and some cash prizes and stuff for cool tricks that kids are doing.
I put that skate park grand opening on our neighborhood Facebook page, and there's been a lot of positive feedback about that. People are chomping at the bit to get at it. So thank you.
Good. Yep, we'll post it on our Facebook page again. I got to get, like I said, the sponsors up there, and then we're inviting our donors too. Hopefully it comes in time. I have a sign with all of our donors on it and stuff that we'll have for Sunday, and it'll kind of be like the ribbon cutting today that we did for the Peckham Way. It's going to be a few words by the mayor. I'll probably say a few words about the next phase of how we're going to finish those old ramps and our timing. And then John from Central Board Shop will say a few words, and then Mayor will cut the ribbon, and they'll have some refreshments, and then the kids will go and have fun and skate. So, yeah. And then just wanted to give an update to the committee. I noticed that in your minutes from the last meeting, I had already given this update that there's going to be some work around City Hall on the trees, and I hope that Mr. Neal read this packet as well, because he's very concerned with the trees also. But there are some trees out here now that have white marks on them on the street side. Those are ones that are going to be removed. But John, our city forester, has a plan for the trees that have been damaged by salt, and he's going to be replacing them with some salt-resistant trees. Let's see, he gave me an update. So they have white dots that'll be removed. We're removing, let's see, 7, 8, 9 of the trees, but then there's some smaller trees. The smaller maples near the front entrance are in poor shape because of the compacted soil, salt, and mower damage. He's going to keep those for now, and then we'll phase those out as he plants in the other spots. And then he also wanted to give you an update on, we did have the big tree planting earlier in the spring, or in the fall of 2024, and those trees that did not survive the winter were fully warranted by the nursery. 23 have already been replaced, and the remaining 10 will be replaced in the spring of 2026 during those times. So our contractors were really good about warranting our trees as they were supposed to. They also another company warranted 50 of the trees they planted this spring, and all have been replaced already of those. And then our fall grant planting will take place the second week of October. We have another 235 trees that will go in. And our second round of private ash removal is out for pricing right now to the contractor. We need more people to apply. We have the funding available. We've done quite a few, even some, crane jobs for people, and the ones we have removed for private homeowners through this process have been so thankful, because the trees have been big and they're dangerous. So if you know of any people in your areas or constituents that meet the income requirement for it's all on our website too, for the private ash removal, to apply, that we still have quite a bit of funding and availability left for that.
Yes, just a quick comment on that. John he's actually been to our neighborhood group twice. He does a fantastic urban forestry presentation for neighborhood groups. And him making the rounds, I think, to get in front of those neighborhood groups, he answers questions that neighborhoods didn't even know they had. But also getting the word out about emerald ash borer and the private ash removal, and what people can do to treat or not treat. That is invaluable, I think, to have him get to those neighborhood groups and get the word out, because often when people don't read the publications or the social media, if they're at the neighborhood group and they hear it from him, that was super helpful in our neighborhood group. So I guess maybe encourage him to continue that effort, because we really appreciated having him come twice to the northwest side.
Yeah, and he's very open if the groups reach out to him too, of trying to find a date when it works for him. He's very willing to come.
Yeah, he really did a great job for us.
Great. And then also just an update, as this committee and our infrastructure committee have talked about the street reconstruction and trees, we, along with engineering, had one initial conference call. It was a couple hours long that we met with Madison Forestry Department, got a lot of information from the Forestry Department, and then now we have a second meeting set up with the Engineering Department because there were some engineering questions that our engineers had that the forestry down there couldn't answer. And one of their foresters previously worked in Milwaukee as well, so he had the knowledge of what Milwaukee did. So we're compiling all that information, and as soon as we meet with the engineers, then our group will present the findings back to the Infrastructure Committee. We'll give the Parks Committee an update as well, because in order to do some of the things that some of these other communities are doing, there's some policy decisions that our bodies have to make in order to give us that direction to do that. So I talked to Eric in Public Works about it today a little bit, and we'll work on getting that, but we are working on it and know that it's still coming back to you.
Okay. Is that it, Jamie?
That's it.
Okay, then any further discussion on what Jamie had? Okay, then on to item number 8. I guess we've already discussed that, so that's going to be the second at what, 4:15
Yep, 4:15,
of September?
September 2nd, yep.
And then on to item number 9 then. Motion to,
Oh. Yep, sorry.
what's that?
Future agenda items, did we skip number 7? Recreational immunity
Yeah.
overview?
Future agenda items, yes, number 7, I'm sorry.
Oh, I just noticed that. I didn't think we
Recreational and
talked about
immunity
that.
overview, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yep, so that is something that we are still, our city attorney's putting together like a page, like an info page for the committee to talk about recreational immunity in general. This had come up with the wharfs on the riverfront and, you know, what the city's
Oh, yeah.
liability there was, but then she'll just cover it in general. She was on vacation, so she didn't get it for this meeting. So that is something, and then the e-bike thing. Yep.
I guess I just wanted to revisit the like e-bike ordinances, how we regulate them in our in the city, just to like review it, and also maybe as an educational piece, just so you know, they're a lot. I think it sort of deals with safety and the fun having we want to have on our path. So we just want to make sure everybody knows what the deal is. So if that's something we can talk about next time, that'd be awesome.
Okay, anything else on that, Jamie?
I can give an update too of the pool end of season.
Okay,
If there's anything else, yeah, just let me know. Or let Chair Larson know. And if they have anything, they can let you know too, and you can
Sure.
tell me what's on the.
okay. Anything else on item number 7 then? Okay, then we'll go on to number 9. All those in favor, or wait, we need a motion first.
Move to adjourn.
Motion by Alder Watson, second by Alder Lukens. All those in favor say aye. 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 Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.